Have you ever seen those hilarious videos where a guy takes his girlfriend out to the range and, for shits and giggles, what does he do? He puts a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum in her hand because that's going to be a crackling good yarn, right? And what happens? Oh, you'll never guess. The gun has a lot of recoil and it comes back and it bops her in the face, or, she, ends up pointing it at the ceiling or something and because it was so recoil, and everybody has a good laugh. I don't think those videos are funny. And the story today is kind of one of those things that it's a when, not an if. And I knew it was going to happen, and the fact that it happened is just so stupid that it's unbelievable. Because I knew it was going to happen after seeing the video that's going to be in the description. Because what happened in the description is exactly what happened today, only today it happened with far more terrible results. Now, what am I talking about? Well, of course you can see from the title, oh, some girl shot themselves in the head accidentally with a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. How do you accidentally shoot yourself in the head with a gun and, not Kurt Cobain it? Well, what you do is you get a far too powerful gun for somebody that's not appropriate for somebody, and you put a bunch of rounds in there, and you shoot it, and the recoil causes the gun to recoil, and as it's coming back, your hand's in the perfect position to pull it again and blow your brains all over the top of the fucking range. That's not good. That's why I've never found those videos funny. And it's the extreme douchebags that probably came to the range in a souped-up F-350 with smokestacks that shoot black flames out there with a set of gold-plated truck nuts in the back that probably caused this to happen. In fact, I'm sure of it. If you want to really impress the people at the range, what should you have your girlfriend shoot? You know what I'd be most impressed if I saw a girl shooting at the range because her boyfriend was showing, or it could be, husband-wife thing. You know what I'd be most impressed if I saw a girl shooting at the range? This. This is a .22 pistol. Okay? Why is that impressive? It's just a .22 pistol. .22's common. Everybody has one. But it's the most appropriate to start anybody out with when they're starting, okay? That shows that the person that's showing you how to, how the things work in the world of firearms, showing you the basics, that shows that they know what they're doing, okay? What do I not want to see somebody starting out on the range with? This, okay? I don't want to see somebody starting out with a .357 Magnum. That shows me that your boyfriend is a douchebag and an unsafe one, and this is not a sport where we can have unsafe practices going on. It just drives me absolutely insane. I just happen to have .357 here, but typically they do it with even, with exotic calibers like a Desert Eagle 50 or Smith & Wesson 500. They think it's hilarious. Nobody in their right mind, I don't care if you're a 400-pound man, if you're starting out on firearms, nobody should be starting with something like that. You're not impressing people, okay? I hate to break it to you. The last thing I want to be at the range is impressed by something. Sure, I'd like to go there and see somebody having amazing marksmanship shot or a very fancy gun. That I just would happen to be impressed. But the last thing I want to do is think, man, how can I really be impressed at the range? I hope somebody hands a 500 Smith & Wesson to their girlfriend, and I just happen to say girlfriend. It could go either way. It could happen in reverse, but it's just I've seen it happen so many times in these videos where it's that exact situation. Hey, baby, let's go to the range. Here, you never shot before? Take this. This is gonna be hilarious, guys. Well, your girlfriend's dead. Is that hilarious? No, it's not hilarious. Now you're single, and she's dead. That's not hilarious in my book. And I laugh at some pretty fucked up shit. It's not how big the gun is that you can put in her hand. I don't know if you're compensating for something like that, but if I was, I guess I would go with something like this. That's hilarious, but no, I would feel a lot better if I saw somebody starting out shooting something like this, and this is not even the thing that I would give them to start out because it's too small, and there's various reasons I wouldn't use this, but I would be much more happy with them starting out with a .22, and I'd even be even happier if they started out with a rifle, because then you're talking about almost no recoil. It's not funny to do those dangerous things with guns. I don't know why people think that's hilarious. I don't care that, oh, you let your girlfriend shoot your scope shotgun and now she's pulling glass out of the back of her head because the scope went through her eye. That's not funny in my book. That's stupid. I'm not one of those fuds that can go to the range and, oh my god, you got a toenail over the firing line. That's it. You know, call a ceasefire. That's totally unsafe. Fuck that. I love to have fun at the range. I love to shoot things. If I'm shooting at my own house, I love to shoot glass. I love to see things that explode, but I do it safely. This whole mindset that you're impressing anybody by putting big firearms in the hand of weak people is not cool. There is a video online where they're shooting this. I think it's called a T-Rex like 600 rifle, and it ends up with people getting like thrown from their chair backwards and then throwing the rifle up because, you know, it's just too powerful. And people think that's hilarious. You know, okay, I had to chuckle at it every now and then because it's hilarious to see somebody get thrown out of the chair. But in all honesty, I don't really think it's all that funny because, you know, when you have something that powerful and you put it in a weak person's hands, what have you done? What have you accomplished? Okay, you got your cheap laugh. That's great. You got your 5 minutes of YouTube fame. You got your cheap laugh. What have you also done if it's a new person to firearms? You've scared them to firearms. That's it. You know, somebody that is going to be out of the sport. You'll notice this scuba diving pin here. I have it on my jacket. Could you imagine if we had new scuba diving people out and we took them out to 200 feet and then tied their feet to the bottom and say, this is a test. What would you do if you decided to be, you know, if your life depended on and you needed to escape from 200 feet under? You're caught in seaweed. Your legs are caught in seaweed. You know, it's a test. You know, you got to be able to see if you can handle these things. So what are you going to do? And just left them. At that depth, a new diver is probably going to have 2 minutes of air. Would that be a good thing to do? Because, I mean, it'd be funny, right? Seeing them panic and try to get their dive knife and then floating up to the surface. Would that be hilarious? I don't think it would be hilarious. So I don't think that, you know, it's a good idea to scare the people with the guns. That's what you're going to do. You're going to end up scaring them because, oh, well, you know, I went out to shoot, even if she happens to survive the ordeal, unlike this unfortunate lady didn't. Well, you know, he took me out to shoot, but the blast scared me, and, you know, my hands were sore the next day, or, you know, you know, even worse, I dislocated a finger, broke a finger or something like that, broke a wrist or something like that. So you've scared them. You've put bad press out there, where now we have a death because of somebody doing something completely stupid. And you have ruined your own reputation by anybody that actually is intelligent at the range, because they're going to see this, and if they don't stop you for doing something that fucking stupid, they're going to say, this guy's an asshole, better stay away from me, he's a douchebag, we don't want those types here. Don't want them, don't want to see them, don't want anything to do with them. So what have you gained? You gain the cheap laughs, and you gain the cheap laughs, and you ruin everything else, and that's not okay in my book. Start out with a reasonable caliber. It doesn't have to be 22. 9mm is very reasonable for most people. 40 is a little sharp. I wouldn't start out people with that. Now, as long as it's appropriate, as long as the person can handle it, that's fine. I don't have anything against these exotic calibers, because that's what typically comes up next. Well, there's no reason somebody needs 500. It's just show how big your e-penis is and all that stuff like that. Spoiler alert, I happen to have a gun in an exotic caliber coming up. And by exotic, I mean something that you're probably not going to see on your local Walmart shelf. You might, but it's just not that common. I mean, I imagine some Walmarts sell the 500, but mine doesn't. But I do have a gun coming, it's on layaway now, that is in one of these not normal calibers, and it, you know, it's specifically, hey man, look how big my e-penis is, man, it's one of those big powerful calibers. Obviously it's not for that reason, but you know, it's one of those type of calibers that, you know, like 9mm kills your body, 45 kills your soul, this one caliber deatomizes your ass. It's one of those type calibers, but I have been shooting for a long time. I understand what the ballistics are of the round, and I know that I can handle it. If, you know, you have somebody that's never shot before, or you've seen them shoot and, you know, they're recoil sensitive, i.e. they can handle a 9, but when you move them up to 40, man, that's a little sharp. So, you know, in my head I'm kind of thinking that's exactly how the conversation went at the range with this idiot. Oh, you know, honey, I wasn't a big fan of that 40. It was a little recoil sensitive. Oh, fuck, she wasn't a big fan of that. She really ain't gonna like this thing. Well, congratulations, she's dead now. I hope you're happy. Oh, it's just these kind of stories that drive me absolutely insane, because I like having fun at the range. That's what kills it. You know, I don't want to be the fun that, you know, okay, you can only shoot 1 round every 5 seconds, and you can only load 2 rounds in your magazine at a time, and we only want bolt action rifles here, and you can only shoot specified target. No, I like having fun at the range. You know, maybe some ranges you can even get a couple group of people together, do a little walking and run, a little running gun, TNP running gun. No, but you know, you can get that sort of thing going. You can have fun, but the way to have fun is to do so safely. That's not doing it safely. No, that's doing it badly, and it ended in somebody dying, and that's never okay for the firearm community. It shouldn't be okay for you. If you see that in your range, you should say something. You should be the dick that's going to say, you know, that's not a good idea. I don't think you should be doing it. That is one thing where I think it's okay to make a statement out there like that. If you see something like this happening in your range, no. If you see the setup for it happening, which, you know, there'll probably be a lot of chuckles. There'll probably be a guy with, like, I don't know, a backwards baseball cap or a cap to the sideways. Obviously, I'm being very stereotypical here, but it's those kind of douchebaggy people with their guns. Hell, even the people that typically own those exotic calibers, not always, because like I said, I'm going to own one, but I mean, if you see like a guy come in with a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum, that would get me paying more attention because, hey, that's a cool gun, I'd like to see it anyway. But also, I kind of look at the kind of person owning it because, I mean, typically what goes along with that is, you know, kind of a douchebag mindset, but no, not always. Regular, you know, sane-minded people can own them as well, but it's just kind of one of those things, you know, kind of like, what kind of person would you expect to come out of a big souped-up F-350 with, you know, you need a freaking step ladder to get into? You could be wrong, you know, it is stereotyping, but I don't know, we all do that. So, yeah, very sad story, and it could have freaking easily been prevented, and I knew, that's the biggest part, that's the reason I'm making this video. I knew it was going to happen ever since I saw the video in the description. So in the description, there's going to be the video, and that's going to be after the link to this story, which should have never happened. So, thanks for watching, and God, freaking be safe out there. Start with this, and don't worry about this, okay? And this is only a 357 Magnum here, okay? 50 makes that look like a freaking 22. Not for people that haven't shot before and are of small stature. Unless you want to, you know, kill them and, I don't know, try to make it look like a suicide. You'd have to have a reason for that because there's no other justifiable reason. I don't care about the laughs. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.